Is Ryan Coogler the next Jordan Peele? So, because of Ryan Coogler's enormous success with Sinners, they've hired him to be the showrunner for the X-Files, which will be the Malcolm X-Files because it will offer nothing new or good that the X-Files did not offer, but it will blackify it. Coogler has already hired a black actress for the Malcolm X Files, so it's safe to say it's going to be blackified, which is fine. I've got nothing against blackification. I did a quick search, and the only blackified things that were successful seem to be the Equalizer. That's the only thing. The comics, Marvel Comics, blackified what's his name, Nick Fury, and that works. The only time I really disagree with it is when it's like historical. For example, there's some show, I think it's called Downtown Abbey or something, where they do like old England, but there's characters that are black and Asian, and then that just didn't happen. Or there's a new TV show with Paul Bettany where it's called Amadeus, so it's based on Mozart, and in this show Mozart's an Asian person, and it's like, I'm sorry, he was German, like it's unrealistic. Now that we've addressed the black elephant in the room, we can talk about whether the X-Files, we'll just call it the X-Files, is going to be good, and whether this is just another Jordan Peele thing. You see, Jordan Peele made a movie called Get Out, and then they gave him Twilight Zone because the movie was so successful. Jordan Peele had not proven himself as a great visionary director, although I do think he's pretty good. But the Twilight Zone ended up sucking and getting cancelled. The best show ever made, the original Twilight Zone. So what do they do with this Coogler, who hasn't made impressive movies? I'm sorry. They give him X-Files, and now that's going to suck. And X-Files was also one of the greatest shows ever made. See, I got a funny idea. How about instead of doing a remake of the X-Files, why don't you make a new supernatural TV show? Because that's what X-Files was. X-Files was a new supernatural take on the Twilight Zone. Vince Gilligan, who made Breaking Bad, he wrote for the X-Files, and he said the Twilight Zone was his favorite show ever. Vince Gilligan then goes on to make the best show ever called Breaking Bad. And then in 10 years, for sure, they're going to remake Breaking Bad, and maybe they'll have an Asian person play Walter White, an Asian female. And see, another problem is that Walter White and the two characters in the X-Files are irreplaceable, the actors who play them. They did too good of a job. Now, I'm an 80s kid. I grew up on all this stuff. Ghostbusters, grew up on that. We saw what happened when they took a crappy director and made him do the Ghostbusters remake. We saw what happened when they got Doofus, J.J. Abrams, and Kurtzman to do Star Trek. They killed that. We saw what happened when they got Doofus Michael Bay to do Transformers. He killed that. And I always said, how do you give somebody $100 million and say, here you go, make a movie about cars that transform into robots? How do you screw that up? Well, Michael Bay screwed it up. And then J.J. Abrams screws up Star Wars. And then they almost let Taika Waititi kill Star Wars. It's already dead, but I guess burned the body. Then they got Mangold. He killed Indiana Jones. So, I mean, keep going, I guess. I'm numb at this point. So, like all these other franchises, they're taking the name The X-Files and capitalizing and cannibalizing the name The X-Files. And it's going to suck. It's not going to be The X-Files. Any more than this was Indiana Jones, any more than that female Ghostbusters was Ghostbusters, any more than the Twilight Zone was the Twilight Zone. It reeks of desperation, not because they can't make a good show, but because they need the brand name. So maybe, like Star Wars, they'll have the original actors show up, just like Luke Skywalker showed up in this new X-Files show. And they'll have Mulder and Scully basically be complete losers, and they'll say, well, we don't want to do it anymore. We don't believe anymore. And they'll just throw their badge in the garbage the same way Luke Skywalker threw away his lightsaber. Maybe they'll do something like that. That'll be great. I'm not going to watch it. Who's going to watch it? There's this new show called Starfleet Academy, which is getting the worst reviews ever. And I'm way past giving them a chance, giving anybody a chance, in fact. But I heard there was a gay Klingon, so I talked to this woke person that I know, and I'm like, and they're talking about the show, and I go, is it true there's a gay Klingon? And the guy looks at me, like, gives me this look, like, uh-oh, you're going to say something homophobic. And I'm like, no, and I go, well, it's, because of course he can't wait to be like, to say that I'm woke. But I go, look, a fucking gay Klingon. Like, it's ridiculous, because they're from a warrior. They don't wear makeup and put dresses on. And like they're very, very like istophobic. The Klingons, they care about is killing each other and being as macho as possible. So that's why it's silly. Like, there was an episode of The Next Generation where there was a female Klingon scientist, and she was made fun of and mocked by other Klingons because she was a scientist. So that's why it's ridiculous to have a gay Klingon. And he's not just gay, like, I think he wears makeup and stuff. Yeah, so good luck to the X-Files remake. It's not going to be good. Ryan Coogler is no great big deal. I feel bad for him, in fact. His movie's getting a stupid vampire movie. It's getting nominated for Oscars. It sucked. And I don't know what he's going to do. You're going to have a black smoking man. You're going to have you can't even have a new cigarette smoking man. How does this work even? It's ridiculous. And by the way, I'm not right. I'm not far right. I'm not MAGA or anything. I'm on the left, if anything. I hate MAGA. So you don't get to say that I'm just anti-woke or whatever other words you want to use.